Hi everyone, it's Alex, and these are some books I picked up at my local library sale. I also managed to get only 5 books for $5, so that's pretty great in itself. Although as a frequent visitor of these book sales, I always try to really restrain myself because I think it is so easy to pick up so many books, especially since I usually go on the first day of the sale. That way I can make sure, or I don't have to think or wonder if I had gotten there sooner if there was a book there that I really wanted. But with the books I did get, I think I can justify them all because I feel like I got a good mix of everything. And the first book I got is a collection of the This I Believe essays. If you're not familiar with this series, this is basically a bunch of really personal accounts of people, just any people, not even really writers, sometimes even just students or teachers and people like that. They basically have this one foundation or kind of a writing prompt for just saying what they believe in. And in doing so, it kind of transitions a really personal account, but trying to tell it through a story. This is a really popular series that I actually try to teach my students in my English 101 class. And they seem to really grasp on to this concept of really sort of triumph and getting over obstacles and things like that. However, that being said, I think sometimes some of these can be really just written for the emotional capacity, but I do think this is like a nice thing I can just sort of flip through and pick up if I'm ever really looking for that spark of inspiration. The second book I picked up is The Hours by Michael Cunningham. I don't know. I'm scared to Google it because I'm afraid I'll get like a spoiler, but I have no idea if I should have read any Virginia Woolf before reading this book. I haven't read any of Virginia Woolf yet except A Room of One's Own a long time ago for class and undergrad. And I know this is kind of like a retelling or some sort of, in a way, kind of prequel to Mrs. Dalloway, because I know Virginia Woolf writes or is thinking of writing Mrs. Dalloway in this book. I also know this is a movie, I'm pretty sure, and just alone the book, it does say it won the Pulitzer Prize, so I always hear really great things. I just don't know if I should read Virginia Woolf first before diving into this. So if you happen to know the answer to that question, please let me know down in the comments below. And the third book I picked up is Night by Ellie Wiesel. I've heard this book talked about in corners of BookTube, heralded as a really great account of kind of the historical aspects going on here. However, what I didn't know is how short it is. I think this is something I could breeze through pretty quickly, but at the same time, it is something I'll probably really try to sort of savor as I read it. So I was really surprised when I saw this at my local library book sale because a lot of those books usually there are just really popular fiction, and I think this is popular. I just think it's one of those works that I don't hear about too often. And the fourth book I picked up is Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. I also have not read any Jane Austen either, so I'm really sort of showing my ignorance kind of with picking up books and things like that, I guess. I don't really know what Mansfield Park is about. I think I read little sort of mini reviews of this book, but the story sounds sort of contemporary, but just told a long time ago. And the last and final book I picked up at the book sale is The Nix by Nathan Hill. I was really surprised to see this one there, only because I feel like, for one, it's a sort of still contemporary novel and a really popular one, but again, usually at these book sales, on one hand, I'm like the youngest person usually there. So really just seeing this like all in its lonesome with like 2 other books that I think were about like history from the 1800s, I immediately just picked this up and I'm really excited to read it. Although I'm still not entirely sure what this is about. I think something with historical fiction kind of, or something maybe. If you can't tell by now, I'm very much someone that doesn't really like to know a lot about books that I plan to read, because for me, the smallest thing will kind of spoil it for me, because then I'll just be thinking about it the whole time I'm reading. Those are all the books that I picked up at the book sale. I'd say it's pretty good. I feel like I got a good mix of everything. Let me know if you've read any of the books I mentioned in this video down below. I'd really love to know what you think, or especially out of these, where you think I should start first. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.